Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for a Future State Fool's Gold review. And in today's Future State Fool's Gold review we are going to be covering the Superman Wonder Woman and Kara Zor-El Superwoman. As you can see in the currency conversion, this is how much I paid for these comics, and let's see if they're actually worth this amount when I rate the cover, art and story. So time to move on to the Superman Wonder Woman one first. So as we look at this cover, did this cover in any way show or share anything to which we see John riding this particular horse in the story? And no. I wonder why that is. I wonder where this writer's head was at this time, especially when they were giving the script. And this is where I'll now show some of the art of the internal of the story before I give the rating for both, for the cover and the art, as well as how much I think they're worth. Now this is some art at the beginning of the story. I'll now show you some art towards the middle. This is some of the art towards the middle. I'll now move towards the end. Alright, as you can see, this is some of the art towards the end. As I'll now give my rating and how much I think both the cover is worth and what the art is worth. Now for the cover, I gave it 5 out of 10, to which I believe it's worth about $1. So already money is being lost in this. For the art, I gave it 7 out of 10, to which I believe it was worth $1.50. Now let's jump into the story. Okay. Moving into the story, some of the locations that we visit here are the Fortress of Solitude, where everything starts. And we also end up making our way towards Metropolis in the end. And that was really interesting. Of course, we had this Superman, who I'm going to call John Syndicate Kent. And of course, Yara Flora. This story was not as good as the first, I'm afraid to say, in any way, shape or form. And the writer really lost me in this one. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first issue, to which I scored the story rating 0 out of 10, to which I believe it's worth $0.00. Time to move on to Kara Zor-El Wonder Woman. So now it's time to move on to Kara Zor-El Wonder Woman, Superwoman. And let's start off. Let's see what Marguerite Bennett did. Or let's see what she did right. That's the best place to go with this. Did she do right by the cover? Even though she didn't do the art for the cover, did she do right in choice for the cover? You bloody bet she did. In this, I gave the cover 7 out of 10, as it did in fact work with the story. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed what was done here. Especially with the art. The scripting must have been a pain in the bum for this. Because looking at the detail, the same art which was applied in the first one was also applied in the second, or in this second issue. So let's move into the internal art for its rating. Now the cover I gave 7 out of 10, to which I believe it was worth $1.50. Now this is some of the art at the beginning. I'll now find some towards the middle. If it's one thing I really like about this art, and I'm glad that Marguerite Bennett was actually put together with this artist, because it really brings out the femininity of Kara Zor-El in this story, and it's really incredible. Like, you've got lights, or the light here. Yeah, you've got small aspects of dark, but it just really came across as really enjoyable. I think together, Marguerite Bennett with this artist, I'd like to see her on another story with the same artist. Um, Maybe even doing something on like an Elseworlds type story, just to see how this story would actually work in whole. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like what the artist has done here, and it carries over throughout the whole story, and it stays pretty consistent. Now, as we move towards the end of the story, now is the time for me to give my rating for the art, to which I gave it a 6.5 out of 10, to which I believe it was worth $1.35. Now, the previous story, with the Superman Wonder Woman, got a total of $2.50 overall. Let's see how this changes in regards to this particular story as well. Though I do have a small gripe when I start to cover the story. Alright, moving on to the story, some of the locations that we encounter here is, of course, the moon version of the Fortress of Solitude. The cast is made up of Lanari, who is sort of like the guest character in this, and Kara Zor-El. It did get a bit confusing as to what was happening here. Because it felt like that there was meant to be some sort of conflict between these particular species. But whilst we've got that happening, as I'm looking at what Kara Zor-El has done to the moon, it is exactly no different than her hypocritically having a go at this, what I'm going to call him is John Syndicate Universe Kent, for bottling up Metropolis. If anything, she has bottled up these people on this Fortress of Solitude on the moon. I'm addressing the character's behavior, not the writer in this. And if she is meant to be a symbol of hope, like for the feminine of the super family, it ain't gonna work. I mean it. It ain't gonna work. I get that there's sort of like free space and that, and of course you've got plenty of glass houses there, but it's still no different overall than Candor being bottled up, the moon having a bottled up location, and Metropolis being bottled up. It just really slipped there. If you do want to pick up something really good from Marguerite Bennett, I recommend you pick up Marguerite Bennett's Batwoman run that she did for Rebirth, because I really enjoyed what I read through that, and I liked how she brought the character across. Not only that, I also enjoyed what she did here, especially in how it worked out scripting wise, of what she sent through to her artist in regards to bring up the art that we got in this story. It was really incredible. Until then, please don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let's keep it colourful. If you've now made it to the end of the video, you are awesome.